let's continue. We know that a man that we know as Antichrist will initiate a 7-year peace treaty with many nations, which will allow the Jews to rebuild their temple in Jerusalem and start their worship. However, after 3.5 years, this man, Antichrist, will go into Jerusalem and stop the Jewish worship. He will set himself up in the temple and declare himself to be God. In Daniel it says that this is an abomination that makes desolate. Well, if we go to Matthew chapter 24 and verse 15, we find Jesus teaching on this exact same scripture. Daniel 9:27. Of course, they didn't have chapter and verses in Jesus' day, but it's the same scripture. And he said to the Jews, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, that's exactly the scripture we're talking about. He said, the Jews, you better leave town in a hurry, because this man that you thought was your Messiah has turned on you. And then down in verse 21, he says, then. When is then? Then is when the abomination of desolation happens, when Antichrist declares himself to be God. At 3.5 years later, then Jesus said is going to be great tribulation, such as the world has never known or ever will know. So the last 3.5 years, Jesus identifies as the Great Tribulation. The book of Revelation describes a lot of things that are going to happen during this 3.5 year period. But we'll have to go into that later.